In this video, we are going to talk about pause and resume options available in ScreenFlow. So let's learn this functionality using a particular business use case. Right. So this is a business use case in front of us. So let's say there is a customer onboarding form that is entirely built using ScreenFlow. So the customer onboarding team, they use this multi-step process, right, for onboarding any new customer. And because this is a multi-step process, right, where you have multiple screens where the team has to enter information about the new customer. So it is possible that some of the information might not even be available during the onboarding process, right? So there should be a way, that's what the team is looking for. The team is looking to preserve the values entered, right? Let's say they're halfway through and they're missing some information, right? So they need a way to preserve the values, whatever they have entered so far, and then resume once the information is available. Is it possible for us to implement such functionalities, right, in our onboarding form that is purely built using Flow? So as a Flow admin, you're saying that yes, certainly it is possible. So let's see how we can able to do that. Okay. So before we see the actual implementation, okay, I already built a flow. Okay, very basic flow, a screen flow. As you can just see, it has multiple screens, right? The first one takes basic inputs about the customer newly being onboarded. The second one takes additional inputs. The third one, takes contract inputs. The fourth one, as a screen that creates onboarding case as well, just for the tracking purpose. So as you can just see, as part of this new customer onboarding process, there are multiple screens involved, right? So this is how it will look like if you go to the if you see the flow, right? So I enter account name, I just enter a billing country, and then I just click on next. So this is my second screen where I just punch in my latitude and longitude. Let's say this is the lat and this is the longitude value. Then we'll just click on next. Yeah. So now let's say let's say the at this point at this particular step. Okay, so let's say the onboarding team does not know the contract months. Okay, so now they are looking for an option to preserve to preserve the data whatever they entered so far, the geo coordinates, the billing address, name of the customer, etc., right? So they need a way to preserve that data whatever entered, and then once the information is available, the contact information is available, they wanted to resume and then move back. Okay, and then start from where they left off. So this is the requirement, right? So if I go to the flow, right? So let me go to the first screen. Okay, so as you can just see right in the footer, you already have this pause button, right? So this is the one that will help you to pause your flow. Okay, and then later you can resume as well. Okay, but the problem is, right, this pause button, even though it appears when you design the flow, when you actually run the flow from the screen, it is not even showing up on the screen, right? Why? So there is a way, we need to turn on this feature. Even though this appears during the design, you need to turn on the feature. Okay, so that the system will, when the flow is executed, you will just start seeing the pause button. So that's the first thing that we need to do. So the key steps to remember, there are only two steps. One is you need to enable this feature, number one. Number two, we need to provide a way to the users to see the list of paused flows, right? So that they can resume and then continue, entering the inputs, isn't it? So we need to add a component. There is already a standard component available. Let's see how we can add all such things. Okay, so let's go back to the page, the org, and then let me close this. I want to go to the setup first. I'll go to setup, and then under process automation settings, process automation settings, you will find an option. So let's wait for the screen to load. Yes, you will see an option, as you can just see. So this is the feature that needs to be turned on. That needs to be turned on in order for the pause button to start appearing on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to enable this one, and I'll just go and then click on save. So now when I go to the page, right, let me just refresh this. Let's see what happens. Yes, now you can just see this, right? the pause button has appeared. It's automatically appearing. So let's say I enter an account, and then I'll just give a country as USA and a zip code, and state as Y, city as let's see. Yeah. So I've entered the billing information, right? And then I'm just going to click on next. So now let's say I don't know the Latin and the geo coordinates. Okay, I just wanted to pause this flow right here. Or let me just enter the Latin long as well. Lat, and then let's have a long, yeah. So let's click on next. So while I'm on the screen, right, I don't know the contact information. So I just wanted to, as an onboarding team, I can click on this pause button. Okay, so I can enter a reason why I wanted to hold this or pause this information, pause this flow, right? I'll just say contract info is unknown. So let's click on OK. That's it. The flow interview is passed, right? Now when I click on this home page again, right, as a user, you know, the user can start onboarding new customer. But where did that paused flow, right? Where is it stored? Because somewhere the user has to go and then resume the flow and then start from where it was left off, right? So how do we do it? So for that purpose, Salesforce has given an option. If you go and then edit this home page, right? So you have a standard component, yeah, standard component that's gonna help users to see the list of flows that have been paused. Okay, so you can just search for paused flow interview. Just drag and then drop it on the home page, this component. Let's click on save, and let's go back to the home page. Okay, so now let the page load. Now as a user, right, I can just see all the flows that have been paused. So I'm just going to create one more. Okay, I'll just say yeah, select. So while I'm in this screen too, let's say I want to just pause this. Okay, so geo information is unknown, something like that. Yeah. So let's click on OK. Now again, the flow interview is paused. When I click on this home page, right, you can just see the two flows, that have been paused by me, right? So now this is the place where, as a user can either resume or delete. Let's say the user is going to, resume this first flow. Okay, click here, resume. So the moment the user, clicks on resume, so this will be gone from the paused flow interview. Okay. So let's say a user clicks on this, and then he can continue. You can again pause this. Okay, again pause this. So still contract info is not known. Okay, so this is the best way for this is the best way for the users, right, to preserve the data, especially when you have an onboarding form or when a customer support team is working on a ticket where they are gathering a lot of information about the customer and the problem, right? So sometimes they may not able to gather all the information from the customer, but they wanted to preserve the information whatever has been entered, right, in the system, right? So this is the best way to um, enable this flow pause functionality. Yeah, so this way the user can able to pause the flow, preserve the data, and then using this component they can resume from where it was left off. So the key thing that we should be aware of is about this particular component. So I cannot use this paused flow interview component in any other pages. I cannot find this particular option of particular component paused flow interviews in any page except home page. Okay, so the only place where you can able to add paused flow interviews is the home page. Okay, you cannot just go to a record page. Okay, and then you cannot look for that look for that component. I'll just go to the edit page. I'm in the contact record page, right? If you look for post flow interview, you will not find it. Okay, that's the key thing to remember. Okay, so in summary, the first one is you have to enable the feature. Number two, you can once the feature is enabled, the pause button will start appearing in the footer, right? And third one is you can use the standard component to show the users the list of paused flows, right? and it can be added only on the home page, not anywhere else, right? So this is from the user perspective. And the last one is from an admin perspective. Okay, from an administrator perspective, I can go to the setup home, and then I have this under process automation, right? You will find paused and flow interviews. So whatever you are the user is seeing on the screen, right, under that paused flow components. So the same thing you can find it right here as well. Okay, the two flows that have been, in the paused state. So right here, it is possible to delete or resume. But anyways, this is more for an administrator who can just come and then see how many interviews have been paused so far, right? Yeah. So this is for the administrator, but for users, it is recommended to add the component, standard component, right on the home page. Okay, so this is all about using or enabling post functionality in ScreenFlow. I hope you'll find this helpful. Thank you.